So I was recording, and for some reason it decided that it was just going to shut the recording off. I think my GPS realized that I was at my location. So anywho, I was just kind of telling a story, background story. I'll find a way to see if I can try to combine those videos. But through all the hardships that I was going through, I had a living situation that I was not keen on, wasn't happy about. I didn't have space. It was not suitable for, an infant. It was barely suitable for any of us. And I felt terrible for my dogs, like to go to work, to go to the gym. Like I didn't do anything else for four years or so, or 5 years. Longer than that, at least 5 years. I didn't go anywhere other than work in the gym 98% of the time, because if I wasn't home, my dogs were stuck in my bedroom. And it was not a big bedroom. So the living situation was not ideal, and I'm sitting here getting to a point where I'm taking my son. I'm not taking him overnight, but I'm getting him every so often, like every other weekend or every weekend. I'm getting him for most of the day. And how would you feel if you had this beautiful miracle of life, you picked him up, and if anybody has ever been around an infant, that's 5, 6, 7 months old, under a year, you have him in your possession and you have nowhere to go. I would get my son and I would take him to the office where I worked, the first office that before we upgraded, when I was working there to the bigger building. I would take him there and just sit at my desk with him and play on the floor with him, because I didn't have anywhere to go. If the weather was okay, I would take him to Sheldon's Marsh and I would hold him. I didn't have a stroller. I eventually got this chest harness for him from the mother of my son, and we would go on walks in shaded areas. I would take him to parks, but he couldn't really do anything. I'd put him in a baby swing, but I had to do that often. I mean, I literally would carry him and I would sit there feeling broken, because I didn't have anywhere to take him comfortably, so that, like, if I was gonna have him half the day, he was gonna have to nap. Just looking back on it, it's crazy to see where I'm at now, and to look back on those times where even so my dad had a separate house that he was living at, and there were weekends where I'd let him know that, hey, I'm gonna have Liam, can I bring him by? And there were weekends where I wouldn't hear from my dad, or I would go over and the door was locked and I couldn't, nobody would come to the door because they were sleeping. They didn't wake up and hear me knocking on the door or anything. You also feel like a burden too, so sometimes you didn't even want to go knock on the door. If you didn't hear a text message back that they were awake, you didn't want to go there and wake them up. You just felt like a burden. And I can't tell you how many times, like one time my son, the sun was in his eyes and he got super upset and fussy, and I pulled over in a cemetery to get him situated, and I just cried. I just remember, different times when I had him, in those moments where I had nowhere to take him, where you're in a car and you have nothing but yourself and that child at that moment. And that time was probably the hardest time of my life, knowing that I have this amazing miracle in my life that is giving me purpose and giving me more life than I've ever had before. And feeling absolutely helpless, because you have you have nothing but your heart and your love to offer. I can't even fathom and begin to explain how hard it was, how rough it was to feel that, and to feel like a failure for quite a while. Eventually I obviously got a place. I'm very thankful for for the help that I had to get into where I'm at, where I'm renting a 2-bedroom house with no neighbors in the country. It's an amazing situation for my dogs and my son now, but just looking back on it and thinking, you know, through that time where I was just miserable before I found out that I had a son, but miserable knowing that, you know, you're gonna get him this weekend for 6 or 8 or 10 hours Saturday, and then take him back to his mom, and then get him back Sunday for most of the day, and you have nowhere to go, or you have to go be a burden on, you know, your dad that you don't live with, and take your son there only because you have nowhere else to take your son. Like, just imagine, like, if it was a rainy, stormy day, or the winter, and you have nowhere to go, and you have a you know, 6 to 10 month old child. What are you gonna do? You can't take them outside. You can't take them into the elements. If it's too hot, it's summer, you can't take them out in the elements for long. I know there's some people out there who you know, don't think like that, but the majority of parents, I would imagine, you know, they don't. Like, I'm so surprised that sometimes where I see infants or at Cedar Point, and I'm like, you have them in the sun around these loud ass noises. It baffles me sometimes where I see infants at for long periods of time. It's one thing if they're there for like 20 minutes, but sometimes it just baffles me. But anywho, I just wanted to take a moment to have this short discussion of that experience that I had, and why I have this grind, this work hard mentality, like what I'm doing right now for work. That, you know, there is no quit for me. I have no choice, and I have this amazing son who is speaking, and every time he sees me, it's Daddy. And anytime an ad comes on YouTube and he's watching Baby Shark or Mickey Mouse Clubhouse or, you know, Bubble Guppies or anything like that, an ad comes on, he goes, Daddy, Daddy, until I hit skip, if there's a skip. And it's wholesome, but just that reflection, just the amount of times that I cried, or when I took him back and I went home, I went into my bed and held my dogs and cried because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. I was just stuck. I had no means to do anything different. It's just very humbling, but also a testament to, if you just keep going, you could get there. You could get somewhere. You can get where you need to be. All you have to do is keep trying, keep grinding, keep working. And that's where I'm at. I'm working. I'm doing whatever it takes to make sure that my son has a roof over his head, that I have a roof over my head, and that I continue to try to grow and keep, you know, myself, my soul, the tools and the amazing special talents and whatever, what I have to offer is around for anybody who needs it. And that's why I record this content that I do, to give some sort of experience, some sort of background help to anybody who may need it. Maybe it's a wake-up call, maybe it's a pick me up, or a hey, hang in there. That's what I wanted to record real quick. So this is 2 parts, because it got split up, but we're doing a lot better now. But I needed to take that moment to reflect and think about that, and be grateful for where I'm at right now, even though it is still a struggle with child support and things like that. I just wanted to put this out here, so thank you. I hope anybody who's out there struggling, especially fathers, single mothers, single fathers, people struggling, trying to deal with court or child support, things like that, you know, like I've said in previous videos, if you need to vent, need to reach out to somebody, I'm always here. You can hit my Facebook, you can hit my Instagram, comment on the YouTube, whatever. I will respond and hopefully help out, or find a way to give some sort of background or advice, whatever I can do, even if it's just, you know, being an ear or a shoulder. So make sure you tell somebody you love them again, and I love y'all. Thank you so much for coming on this journey with me, and if you're at this point listening to me and hearing what I have to say, and just knowing that I'm toughing it out and doing the best that I can. And hopefully, if you're going through some struggles, we obviously all are. It's not easy times in life right now, and already economy and our, you know, the way life's going, hang in there. We will continue to journey forward and try to make the most of it, you know, regardless of, you know, anything bad going on. There are many positives. You have to look at the silver lining and keep your focus on the positives, and don't ignore the negatives, but don't let them succumb you. Don't let them drown you. Keep kicking and just keep swimming. So with that being said, I love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in, and hopefully you guys have a good Wednesday on this hump day, and I'll see you guys in another one.